Couple of drives. Jeremiah Smith in motion, and they'll throw it to him. First catch for the best receiver in college football. Saying to pass once again, going to the sideline, targeting Smith. And at week 1, Texas in week 2. Third down. Saying to pass once again, over the middle and complete. That's
that ball. You see, you get a nice little screen, or a nice little slant route right there. He tries to get his hands in there. I would like for him to attack the
step up at linebacker with the loss of Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles. Our first run play of the game. The carry for Jacoby Jackson. Transfer from Florida.
Big emphasis for him this offseason is making sure his body's ready.
Fake it to Jackson. Saying, checks it down short. Nate Roberts. He is
Roberts this year, and you know, obviously Jake is huge on tight ends. It would be nice to finally see one of those tight ends have one of those Cade Stover like our
NFL, and most recently the OC with the Steelers last year. Third down again. Saying on target to Jeremiah Smith. Splitting tackles
with his legs. Nice little slant route, perfect ball. We talked to Coach Day yesterday about Julian saying, making sure he put the ball in a spot where his receivers can catch it and run right away. That right there is exactly what Coach Day is looking for.
It's coached hard. The best work ethics to ever come through here. Saying through the air. Jackson on the catch this time, out of the backfield, and scampers down the sideline for a first. Rodgers,
yes.
The other 2 injured. That could play a factor. From under center, Jackson, carry, dodging, and marked down after a gain of 4. Saying, throwing, end zone, and over the head of Kyle Parker.
Represent, you know, the great state of Ohio and the Buckeyes.
You know, every fan was locked in on the stadium scoreboard.
He knows anything he needs. You know, he can always call me, you know, text. We definitely get together, talk some ball. Just super proud of him, and, you know, him called when your team needs you. You got to be ready to perform, and, you know, that's something I carry with me today.
You know, you went in the first round of the NFL draft. Congratulations on ringing the bell and everything else you've accomplished this season. Thank you so much. Do you need an umbrella? Do you guys have one in the booth? JSN needs one. We need an umbrella.
Hey, they all said JSN would be the best. He sure proved it.
All right, 4th and goal here. Saying rolling to his right, away from the pressure, has room to run, and I don't know if he would have made it real time.
You know what? The thing about Julian is they wanted him to use his legs more. They wanted him to see Julian saying with the wheels, look at the knee lift there. My track coach would be happy to see the way Julian Saint ran that in. And we can get more of this in the fall. I think this will change the offense a lot, because there was multiple times last year where
back in college at the OC with Ohio State.
Well, things have definitely changed the way they run college, and I think he's actually more suited for the job now that he's been in the NFL. Back home. Just has to figure things out on the football field and be more consistent.
After a 9-yard pass to Brock Boyd, the freshman, favor Aki.
Is one snap away. Obviously, he's going up against Justin Martin, the transfer from Maryland, but everybody thinks he's the heavy favorite to beat him. Number 2 quarterback. Look at that pass.
Throwing it back to Chris Henry Jr.
Look at this. This passes like this. That's why you see people want him to be quarterback number 2. Look how long of a pass that is, and he puts that absolutely on the money. Now, it's Chris Henry Jr., who's about 6'5", 6'6", so he is going to be wide receiver number 3 alongside Jeremiah Smith and Brandon Ennis.
Chris Henry, prime candidate, as Aki
is doing right now. And I got a chance to stand next to Jeremiah Smith, and I realized how much bigger he is, and it made sense to why he was doing what he's doing to these corners in the college game. Well, I'll let you know that Chris Henry Jr.
3rd and 9 here for St. Clair. 2nd-string quarterback for Ohio State. Stands in the pocket, pressure comes, and whistled down.
Roddy, the strength coach here, and first thing he said about John Walker is he's a really good football player. Doesn't really speak a lot, very quiet. Matt Patricia said
Connor Hawkins kicking a field goal for the first time today.
These are big moments for Buckeye Nation.
And he nails it.
That is, understand that Matt Patricia can find schemes and put guys in different positions and utilize them to their full capabilities, that they're not worried about losing some of these guys.
Very early next week at the NFL draft. How are you preparing for that?
You know, I'm super excited. You know, I really don't have any range in my mind, so I'm super excited for him. You know, I know For me, I really like Earl Little. I think he's going to be a good player. I love the way he played in the spring when I came to see the practice. So he's going to do awesome. I'm super excited for my
playing linebacker. And now he's considered one of the best linebacker prospects in this draft. It just shows you how committed. Oh, we got an interception. Tips and overthrows. You got to get those, Jack. Every time. You got to make them pay. Does a great job of matching the quarterback's hand. That's right there is an underrated thing that doesn't get talked about enough. When you get a defensive tackle and you can't quite get there, get your hands up, match the quarterback's throwing hand, and get a tip in the air and watch these guys make a play. Will Smith Jr., I know his father would be proud of him.
Wanted to see an Atkinson, the former North Carolina Tar Heel, with the interception. Aki with the little shifts in the freshman running backs. Who's going to be the third guy? It seems like Bo Jackson and Isaiah West, number 1 and number 2 at this point.
Yeah.
Aki muscles ahead. First ended in a field goal for the Scarlet team, the offense. Back to Aki on the ground. And you can see we are...
Love the fact that Ryan Day is letting them play all the way through.
Make it to Aki. St. Clair going deep. Henry's there. Touchdown.
This is something that we might see a lot of in the fall right here. Chris Henry Jr. is having an unbelievable game. He is showing you why he is in the nation. And Tavian St. Clair, a guy who, you know, has his inconsistencies, has found Chris Henry Jr. for 2 nice passes down the field. Look at that arm strength right there. Nice fade route. All the separation that you need.
They're out here having fun.
Listen, I'm not breaking news here when I say that the Buckeyes are an absolute NFL factory. How are you preparing for the draft?
Grove High School product. Finally got his shot to start last year. 11 sacks.
He was really good. 11 sacks, 16 TFLs. It wouldn't have worked out for Ryan Day there. But no, I think that what he means is that when you come here, the mentality is that you want to be the best at your position. You're required to be the best at your position.
They weren't out there that long, so it's less chances to get takeaways. It really wasn't that big of a deal to him when we brought it up.
And to me, getting takeaways is contagious. Once you see one guy get one, now other guys go. And oh my goodness, I almost
one there.
Talked one up, didn't I? He needs some time in this ball. Look at that great 3-step read, not getting too far in his pedal, reading at the route proposed of it. I love a good defensive play.
3rd and 6. St. Clair over the middle and finds Henry again.
Yeah.
Those two have linked up.
When that defense is running cover 2 and they're running slants right in that zone, those linebackers got to find a way to look at those.
Don't play yourself down too much. No, Chris, super talented, having a great day so far. St. Clair looking deep again. He wants the shot down the field. Incomplete.
Play right.
Was Jerquaden Guilford, the freshman, off the deep ball, and the breakup from Blaine Bradford, another freshman out of Baton Rouge.
So the one thing I like about this play is when you look at corners, especially young DBs, when they're beat, they have a tendency of play on the ball. An excellent defensive back play right there by Blaine.
Way Russo coming in for the hard tackle.
Wow, speed to power, speed to power. You want to know what it looks like? That right there is exactly what it looks like. He goes down, shuffles down the line of scrimmage, making sure that he takes all.
Russo makes the tackle midfield. St. Clair goes in and almost picked.
Themselves in position to make plays on the ball. We got to finish this. Look at this great play by Cam Calhoun. Now, I have to give Wade Guilford some credit here. He did a really great job of becoming the DB and knocking that ball down. But we got to finish those. Those right there could be the difference of
making progress under Ryan Day. Julian Sain's still playing now. We didn't expect to see him this long.
Well, he's seen Tavian make all them throws down. Was one of the biggest focal points on this defense. You got a good defensive tackle that can go in there and stop that run game as guys that he wants to see make that push in fall camp. You know, want to have these guys involved when the season starts. So obviously you need to have a more consistent spring game. They got to pick it up a little bit because the defensive line or defensive edges are getting back in that back foot.
Playing well into the second quarter. Zayn stepping up, contact on the back, throwing wide, incomplete. And on the ground with Favor Aki. Reminder, the number 3 receiver. There's a lot of data points over the spring and into fall camp, but Chris Henry making an impression. There he is again, but he drops this one.
Soon. Again, though, I am very impressed with the way Tavian St. Clair is playing. I mean, that's a really good ball. A little bit behind him, but still, you got 10 fingers on it. You got to come to that.
Yeah, it's not okay to drop a pass.
Oh.
That's not the standard here. Third down. St. Clair going deep. Incomplete.
Good job of realizing we got a linebacker on a wide receiver. We're going to take advantage of that, but that is great coverage there by the linebacker, being able to let the huddle. Obviously, he's got that veteran experience. Just in case if Tavian St. Clair isn't ready for the season and can't handle it, you got a guy that's been out there, that's seen action.
You to start at Penn State, where he played pretty well, just under 200 yards.
You know, his story is kind of similar to a wheel.
These quarterbacks are feeling when they come into the program. Third down here for Martin, his first drive. Long throw to the sideline and complete. Hunter Welsing, the transfer from Northwestern, seventh-year senior in motion. And Martin will give it off this time. That's what everyone thinks of, along with the sacks on saying Ohio State just couldn't run the ball the last couple of games last year. Looking back shoulder, there's the flag.
It made him really good. What I didn't like was there was a couple of runs where I felt he should have broken away that he got caught from behind. So I'm hoping he takes that next step to be able to complete those long runs. That running back shape to him. Small, thicker type of guy, probably does a great job of breaking tackles. So let's get the ball.
That's what the focus has been.
What the good news is this. You look at the wide receiver room, as good as they are, you get Jeremiah Smith, you get Brandon Ennis. When you talk about, you don't have to worry about guys making too many moves when they get the ball. Because if they do, they're going to slip and fall. So that's one of those ones where you really want to keep your feet running on contact.
But still. Second down, St. Clair the quarterback, Jackson the carry. And falls forward. And Ohio State pick up a couple inches here. Right back to Jackson. He did not get there.
Making plays. Apparently, Glenville is doing a really good job. He sees it, and he doesn't stop. He shoots the gap and goes out there and makes a really good play. I love that like that.
And sets up 4th and 2. Of course, Ohio State's going to go for it. Spring game. And wrapped up in the backfield again. That's why his ceiling is so high as a freshman.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you knew that he was a smart linebacker. When you listen to him recruiting, they say that his above shoulders late and not.
Now it's Luke Fahey in at quarterback. This is a tough first drive for him to come in with the rain falling. Virtually 300 passing yards a game as a senior this past fall. Oh, Fahey wants a shot. Going to the pylon. Intensity of this program. You hear new players coming into the program. It's unrivaled in college football. As Fahey will scramble, first time on the ground. Cross, so he's got some mobility. Third and 5. 4th stringer Luke Fahey with a dart near the pylon. Hauled in. Incomplete.
Name that has been, you hear him, something about him every day in practice. Look at him lay out and try to make that play right there. That is really good. He was the first freshman to give the ball. And the funniest thing about it is, it was a run play. So he was wide open on a run play, but he was still upset. I guess it must have been one of those.
Prepare him to be one snap away coming into the game. Pressure, dump it off. Jacoby Jackson, transfer from Florida with his first. Jackson, spinning ahead. No more.
Carlos Lachlan, the running back head coach, said that the 2 most complete backs that he trusts for every down right now, Bo Jackson and Jacoby Jackson. And if that's what he had, trust me, I know what that feels like because I had 2 of them in my career, and that could bring an elephant down.
Not fun. St. Clair flushed out of the pocket, directing traffic, sideline, goes ahead.
Makeup of all what you want in a backup quarterback. I mean, if you're going to come in the game, if Julian Saint goes down and he has to come into the game, you want that guy to be able to take care of him. Devin Sanchez, those 2 guys in particular, do a really good job of being on doing twitch and doing a great job of being able to turn their hip.
On third down, Justin Martin feels pressure from Wilder, and that is a
this penalty. You got a holding call. Yeah. You got to let it go. You got to let it, and that's when you're nervous. When you're out of place and you're out of position.
For the sophomore quarterback. Handoff to Aki. And a short first down.
You had a big season last year. What are you looking to improve upon in year 2?
I can improve in just a lot of areas. You know, still have more.
Question, I just actually passed a huge vat of water, and it said water for recruits only. What do you think?
Not enough love, and you know they really do a good job.
Julian, thank you so much. Wet hair, don't care, guys.
Keep slugging it down there, guys. A big 38-yard pass to Adolph from St. Clair. Sets up again. Has another completed pass. This one to Devin. On third and short, St. Clair slant and over the top of McEwen. Absolutely spectacular. Derrick Henry.
Well, you know, the two things that I feel like Ohio State needs to improve upon is actually two areas that he specializes in. Running more out of him at Ohio State last year, but I also think that he is going to be a nice tight end too. He got a nice one.
Yeah, Luke. Short throw, complete. Desi Jones wrestled out of bounds.
Yep, and you see Coach Meyer and all the winning team ride by on the bus just waving at you.
Fahey incomplete. Some to be in the first round. He will be the fifth for Ohio State.
But whoever does the best job, you know, whoever makes the least amount of mistakes is going to get the job at the end of the day.
You know, I know that Coach Jay has just just get the young guys to lock in. And what's it been like playing with Chris Henry Jr.?
Yeah, it's easy. It was easy. You know, they bought in real fast.
Brandon learned from so many great guys, and he mentioned specifically Emeka Abuka and Marvin Harrison Jr. There's a throwback that comes up short, incomplete. Single rep. You have to go all out with your effort.
Yeah, I learned the hard way when I played from Urban Meyer about how you got to go all out every single rep that you get in practice.
I'm sure that was a wake-up call.
It was.
Freshman. They're down here. St. Clair. Flush left. Looking downfield. Plenty of space to run. And the sophomore scampers
are going to be so scared of these wide receivers that it's going to be just so much space for him to be able to pick up yards.
Not nearly as much space there. Dumps it out of bounds. Elevating his teammates instead of worrying about himself.
He got to get that experience that he needed. And I think that now he's confident. He knows what it takes to miss it.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, Cali cool, man. That dude knows how to go out and lead. So I want to get you here.
Look out.
Brandon in his before, and he was saying about how quickly it goes, you know? He's a senior now, and he remembers when Jackson Smith and Jigbo was actually his host.
Yeah, most veteran, best offensive lineman for Ohio State. Carson Hinchman, first team All-American last year at center. There's over 3 minutes to go.
Off here, have a really good year, and want to have a good career in the NFL.
Fahey on the field at quarterback. And
Slaying plan. So you need those guys. Now that they're all back, they're having another year. They're going to have that chemistry. They're going to go through camp all as one unit. Look at that room right there.
Fahey might go the distance. Give it to him.
No, don't give it to him.
Yards.
Man. Go through your progression, see it's not there, see that they're all in man-to-man. If they're all in man-to-man and their back is all towards you, they can't see you. This is what the Michael Vick rule was. He learned that if they're all in man, they're not looking at me, so I'm going to...
Fahey looking end zone. At a step. A little bit underthrown. And Ohio State will run it. Nothing there for Rocky.
Remember this Chris Henry.
Yeah, especially on the offensive side. Third down. Clock is pretty much off. Fahey's going to run it. Dodging. Here. Fahey looking right. Going short. Incomplete.